Welcome to Heart of the Homestead Family. I'm Heidi.
I'm Sarah.
Caroline.
And I'm Allie.
Join us as we talk about all things homesteading.
Okay, welcome back. And it is like first week of June. And if you are not feeling overwhelmed yet, you might hit it soon. It has been a crazy May, which has delayed a lot of things, and you feel the pressure is on to get your stuff in. It's okay. You don't have to get it all in immediately. You got some time yet. You're also going to, as the season progresses and the struggle of taking care of your garden, taking care of your outside animals, taking care of inside your house, getting meals put before your family, and all the other things, it's going to be a lot, which is why you need to prioritize.
Yes.
That is like our first suggestion of being overwhelmed. As soon as you get overwhelmed, you don't enjoy it anymore. You don't enjoy what you're doing. And that's not where you want to get at, because what you're doing is rewarding and what you're doing is important. And we don't want you quit. So we're going to give you some suggestions on how to manage these feelings of overwhelmingness that you're going to get once in a while, because you will hit it. Because all of a sudden it's going to come all at you at once. All the stuff's going to be coming out of the garden at once. Yeah. And you don't have to get to that point. You just take a moment to breathe, and then here are some suggestions on what you're going to do. So, what are we going to do?
We're all looking well.
Allie, you look really calm. Like you would never get overwhelmed.
No, I definitely do. But there's just been some things that I have learned over the years as far as what works for me to sort of limit that. One of the things comes kind of at the beginning is just sort of the planning stages. So I'm planning out a garden that's having things that are right at different points. Instead of planting a whole bunch of stuff that's all ripe in August, and trying not to do only a summer garden and think that that's going to feed my family for a whole year. But having some things earlier in the spring, having some things that go later into the fall, just sort of spreading out your harvest. And that can come in the planning stage of how many plants you're putting in and what time of the year that you're planting them.
Yeah. I find with that too, giving yourself some grace.
Absolutely.
If you don't go to plan, or if you don't get things in that you wanted to, or you try and it doesn't work, or sometimes life just gets in the way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen. Like my garden is barely planted. And that's because I have other things going on. I have a business that I run, and I have a family, and garden's a priority, yes, but those other things take first priority.
Yeah.
So giving yourself some grace and having some good people on your side that you can say, hey, these all died on me. Can I have some of yours?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, not feeling like you have to do everything either. And that can be a harder thing to be okay with in the homesteading world, is you see other people doing it and you want to try it too. And when you are successful at things, it is very rewarding. But to pile on too many things, like you said, Heidi, it just sucks the fun out of it, and it's not rewarding anymore. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah, figure out, like, if you have only so much space, don't try to cram all your tomatoes for all your tomato sauce in that spot. How about you can source a local place for all your tomatoes so that you can get them all at once. Do all your tomato sauce in a day or two.
Yeah.
And then leave that garden space for all the other things that you want to use. So thinking, okay, what can I source from my community that I don't need to put in my garden? And also creating that community of, like, you have all different skills, you grow all different things, you raise all different things. Use that community to, okay, I'm not going to do this and this and this because I know people that can do that, and I can trade, barter, buy those things.
Yeah, that's how I was with tomatoes for a long time. I was buying the ones that I was using for sauce and salsa when I wanted a whole lot all at one time.
Yeah.
And I had fewer tomato plants in my garden, and those ones were more for fresh eating. And I'm still that way when it comes to cucumbers, because
Yes.
cucumbers are setting off their fruit over so many days to weeks even.
Yep.
And when you want to make your pickles, you kind of want them all at once. You don't want to be making 1 jar or 2 jars of pickles every day for the whole month of July.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll just grow a few for fresh eating. And then when I'm ready to have a pickle making day, I'll get them from somewhere else, because it just wasn't really efficient for me. Because even if I was successful at growing that many cucumber plants, then every few days I would have half a bushel of cucumbers, and I don't want to be making pickles every day.
Yes. Yeah.
So that made sense. And then when I realized and was okay with the fact that I didn't grow the pickles, or grow the cucumbers to make my pickles with, that took a burden that didn't need to be there.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't have to do all the things yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds simple, but that's a hard one sometimes.
It is hard. It's hard to wrap your mind around it, especially when you do have these lofty goals and you enjoy what you're doing, you're passionate about it, but we still have limits as humans.
Yeah. So the biggest struggle in when the weather gets nice and you are needed outside for most of the day doing your gardens, taking care of your animals, you're not inside.
No.
But somehow the inside still gets used, and the sink is overheaping with dishes, and there's still laundry, and still things need to be wiped down. How do you find a balance in outside and inside tasks?
Well, when people come to my house, they have to stay outside.
There you go.
Then no one else notices that you're inside
Yes.
too. If your visitors are staying outside too, then it doesn't matter if your inside is messy.
Yep.
Maybe just clear a path to the bathroom
Yes.
or something, and then make sure
Shut all the doors.
reasonable
that- of rooms that they don't need to be seen.
but the rest of it doesn't need to. And just to maybe have lower standards for your house over the summer.
Yep.
Like, I think spring cleaning has got its, followers, but I think that I give more attention to fall cleaning. I'm like, I have neglected this for many months.
Yes.
And now it is cold and rainy in November, and now I will clean
Everything.
before people come over for Christmas.
Yes.
So there's seasonality to so many of the things that we're doing. And sometimes it's okay if your house is not that tidy. It's okay if you save sorting your kids' clothes and shoes that they've outgrown for another time. And maybe you'll find a rainy day in August and get that done, and maybe you won't, and that's okay. Eventually those clothes and shoes will find a new home, and it'll be all right.
Yeah, I've come to terms, I think, maybe, with if people come to visit me, they're there to see me, not my clean house, because it's not going to be a clean house in the summer.
Yeah.
If you're coming inside, you get what you take. You get what you come into. I'm outside all the time. I'm either out back with our business, or I'm in the garden, or I'm out with kids, and it's not gonna be pretty.
No. And that's okay. Yeah. Because you're right, they're there to see you. And so having a you that is relaxed and present with your company is more important than whether you washed your floors that week.
Yeah.
Oh, they get washed?
No.
Was that?
No, not really. No.
You just need to find the right color of
We have a
flooring.
saying in our house, or at least I say it, is that sticky floors save lives.
Oh,
I like that.
Because when I wash the floor, people start slipping and falling. We're just not used to what sticky floors feel like under our feet. So
I'm used to that.
Sticky floors save lives. I like that.
I have older kids, so they all have inside chores that kind of keep it at some kind of level. So like just a quick Swiffer of the floor. That's all I need once in a while. Yeah, sweep, and then if somebody has the Swiffering job. And then just loading the dishwasher. Like, if we can get that dishwasher loaded once or twice a day, that just kind of keeps up with it. And the way that my house is situated is that you see the kitchen as soon as you walk in, and the bathroom's right off of that. So that's all the only two rooms I have to have decent when people come over. And I don't have to, but I just do because it's a small space. And by the time you have a few people over, it's a lot of people in that one room. But there's piles. Like, I don't like piles, but I have piles of things that need to be gone through, and we'll do that one day.
I'll wait for you.
Yeah, I will wait for you.
The bills might not be, but they're somewhere in that pile.
Yeah, those can maybe be a little higher in the price, but I mean, they'll remind you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just get another one.
This episode is brought to you by the South Coast Homestead Conference, coming up September 19th, 2026 at Generations Marketplace. We have Anne of All Trades coming as our keynote speaker, and you can find out more information online on our website, on Instagram and Facebook, South Coast Homestead Conference.
Another thing that I found helpful just in the process of, gaining new skills is to get good at something or decently good at it so that it is a bit more routine before you add on the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because some skills, like we talked recently about pressure canning and how that still takes my whole brain when I'm doing pressure canning. It's not coming naturally to me. But other things that I have been doing for a while, say making yogurt. I don't need to get out my recipe book every time I'm making yogurt. I'm not measuring things and, it's pretty routine. I can do it while I'm in the kitchen doing something else. But at first, I was having to focus so much on it. So if I was trying to learn all sorts of skills at the same time, my brain would just be overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
But having one thing at a time that you're learning, get good at it. When that feels comfortable, then add on another skill. Because those skills will wait for you to learn them, and you can either purchase from someone else or do something different in the meantime. You don't need to do everything at once. Same with the garden, especially if you're aiming towards something like, I want to grow all of my own fill-and-wick. And that's a learning curve too. So if there's certain things that I can grow, so I now can grow on my own garlic. I've learned garlic enough, and I know how many my family eats in a year that I can grow enough garlic for my family. But I'm not growing all of everything. I'm still getting stuff from somewhere, but I'm trying to add every year or two a new thing that I'm like, now I can grow all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So this year I'm trying that more with herbs. Trying to trying to remember to harvest several times over the growing season, so that I can sort of build up my jars full of herbs and then not have to buy those anymore. But if I run out, it's okay.
Yeah. And when you're planning your garden, thinking about, okay, I planted all of these pepper plants. What am I doing with the peppers when they are ready? Not waiting until, my peppers are ready. What am I going to do now?
Yeah.
If you have a plan and you've researched, if you want to water bath can or pressure can those things, learn those things during the winter when it might be a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
And so that you have an idea, and get the supplies too. There's nothing like going to can and not having jars.
That's right.
Having that stuff before the season even comes or before that harvest time comes.
Right.
So that when you are harvesting, that overwhelm is not there because you already know, okay, I'm just going to freeze this because that's all I got time for, or I'm just going to water bath can or ferment it or whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
Or just eat it fresh. That's just what you're going to do. You're going to eat fresh. If you have extra, you're going to hand it off to somebody else.
Yes.
Where you're at.
Yeah. That's really helpful in terms of having a plan beforehand. And there's still time to go and get your canning supplies because usually that kind of crunch is more like August, September. Unless you have so many strawberries that you get overwhelmed with strawberries in June, then you might be needing to go and get
I've already been doing rhubarb jam and rhubarb jelly. So.
Yeah.
And canning asparagus. So it can, depending upon what you want to can, it can start now. But just being ready with the things you need and the skill level, knowing how to do it.
Yeah.
Or
what you can do with it.
Yes.
Instead of having a whole bunch of peppers sitting on your counter and saying, I don't even know where to start with these. I can't eat these in the next week. What am I going to do? So knowing what you can do with each thing so that you can choose the least effort version of storing that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, with peppers, I just freeze them. And then when I'm using them through the winter in tacos or something like that, frozen peppers are fine in tacos. So we just put them in that.
And a great way, if you haven't learned maybe water bath canning skill yet, if you have a friend that's water bath canning already, go over and say, hey, I'll help you chop up your stuff if you teach me how to do that.
Yeah.
Help somebody and they help you and we're working as a community again.
Yeah. Yeah, because it can be hard to just either have something pulled up on your phone or even a recipe book and you're still kind of there by yourself and you're trying to troubleshoot and you're feeling like I have to learn this today because I have a bushel of tomatoes that needs to be dealt with. So,
which reminds me, at Generations Marketplace, we've got a watercraft canning class coming up in a couple weeks. So for those who want to learn before the season gets full on, look for a class that's in your area too. If you don't know anybody, there's not a lot of canners out there. There's more and more.
There's getting more.
Yeah. But maybe you don't know somebody, so you find a class or watch videos on it before you get your stuff out. Don't get all your stuff out and then start watching the videos.
Right. And if you are a canner already, offer to teach someone. Don't wait for them to come and ask you. Like, for those of us who have done these things before, we don't have to be experts at them, but if we've learned a little bit, we can pass on what we have learned to other people. So I do have friends over that haven't done it before, and I'm like, come on over. You can take a jar home with you. Well, I'll give you a jar next time I see you because it has to cool on my counter for 24 hours. So unless you're sleeping over, you can't take it home with you that day. But to extend the offer to people who maybe don't know that you know that skill, or maybe you're too shy to ask, or they think it's awkward. Just say, hey, you want to make this with me? I could really use your help. I have just sprung that on people who've been at my house before. And they just kind of got roped into helping me because they showed up on a day that I was doing something. And other times it's been planned, but it's been helpful. And it's been another kind of rewarding to then have that friend send me a message, a month or two later. They're like, look, I did it by myself this time. And they send me a picture of their canning jars. And I just think, wow, that's great. Like that you felt confident enough to then try it on your own and you were successful. So now that person can carry on with their canning and they can invite someone else along for the ride.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about overwhelming? Take time for yourself. Yeah. And don't feel bad about sitting with a book for a little bit or doing something else that you enjoy, spending time with your family. Some things can just be ignored. I remember when one of my kids was born in August, I had high expectations that I would still be in the garden in July, August. No, it was really high weeds and I could barely find anything, but I had to be okay with that because I didn't realize that having a huge stomach and trying to bend over and harvest things was going to, and a weed was going to be an issue. But there's seasons for things, and if you're in young children's stage, they want you. So just do the basics of what needs to be done in that moment and enjoy life too.
A couple of things that I like to keep in mind is just that homesteading is not a competition. We're not getting graded on this. We're not falling short in some areas just because we're not doing all the exact same things that someone else is doing. Maybe those are goals for us in the future to work towards, and maybe they're not. Maybe we just have different directions that we're taking our homesteading journeys, and that's okay too. We don't all have to be carbon copies of each other at different points on the same journey. And another thing that can be helpful, especially in like that August, September when there's just a lot, is to think of it as the burden of abundance. And when I realize that, and you focus on the word abundance, and I think this is not a burden. Sometimes it feels like it, but it's not really a burden, because look at how much that God has provided for my family. And that can really change my mindset and put me in a better mood about all the work in front of me.
Yeah, definitely. It's very thankful for all that we can do and that we can be fit enough to do it. To not necessarily every day in our future we're going to be able to tackle all of what we want to do, but the days that we can, we do what we can. And and be very thankful for every moment that we have. So if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, take a moment, breathe, reassess your situation. What do you really have to do and what can wait? What doesn't need to be done? What can wait until the winter? Many things can, actually.
Well, what can wait until your kids are older?
Because my older kids, they are helping me out right now by getting some of those chores inside done. Because they don't necessarily want to be out in the garden with me, but they will do some inside things. And then when I come in, that stuff is done. So find find things for your kids to do. Don't put it all on yourself. I know it's challenging at times, but yes, all the best. Take it easy and enjoy this season.
Thank you for joining us. Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and until next time, enjoy filling your hearts and your jars.